I'm assuming the waiting person was you, Crystal. Don't forget. I just sent you a text. Don't forget what that was about. And sometimes I swear to God, sometimes it just I don't know why it seems more stressful to go live. It's like you have to be on or something. So, anyways, even though when I start my regular videos, I just turn it on and just start talking, and then I just turn it off when I gotta finish, or when I've been talking too long or something. So, anyways, I don't know why I sit here stressing out all day, like, oh my God, what am I gonna talk about? I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, and I totally forgot this morning that we were going live today. So I did a video this morning, and I totally forgot. So I was thinking, well, I'm gonna talk some probably about the stuff I talked about earlier, and so I've been sitting here for a little while looking on TikTok to see like, is there anything going on? Amy had texted me, and I'm pretty sure she's in North Carolina. I always get confused. It seems like she's like on the border of like Tennessee and North Carolina or something. And she said it's like they're cooking him over there, or they're trying to kill him with the heat. And I totally get it, because the other day when the sun was out, I just have to stay in. I think a lot of people stay in, and the death toll is rising in Europe. And then we have in America, we have some strange heat index, which is really strange because in some places they're having snow. And then in other places, this weird heat index where the guy was explaining it's like a dome is going over these areas and holding in the heat. And there's one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast. So it's gonna get even hotter. And this week we're supposed to be like up in the 90s, and it's weird because and it's also supposed to be snowing in Idaho, which I'm assuming is northern Idaho because it's up by Wyoming. And so, but down in the southern part, we're going to be being cooked again. And when it was in the 90s here, and I went out, uh, oh, hey, Amy. So it is in East Tennessee. I knew it was something. And when I went out with my thermometer that other day and was checking, and it said like it was 93 or 94 or something like that, and I put the thermometer out, it was almost 120. So it is they're the temperatures, I don't know where they get it. If they're monitoring it in the shade, but when you have the sun directly hitting you, yeah, it's not. And I've been talking about this for years. I've been doing this thermometer thing with the weather for a long time, because even on the cold times, they'll say, well, it's this. Then you go out and you check, and it's not. It's always like 10 or 15 degrees off. And there is all these people dying from the heat in some of the places, and they're about to crank it up more in this whatever this weird dome thing that's supposed to go over and hold the heat in more. And there's supposed to be like this horrible heat wave going. And then don't forget that we're gonna have all these people out doing fireworks. I'm sure there's gonna be fires. It's like, oh my God. And they've already started the fireworks here. And I'm telling you, we are a tinderbox. Like, this place is a tinderbox where I'm at. And there they are out doing fireworks as soon as it gets dark each night. And every time I think, oh my God, who's out there shooting? But no, they're doing fireworks out there. It's completely insane. It says 95, but it feels like 105. Yeah, I'm telling you, like the sun is totally different. You know, yeah, that's what I have my dad's. So I have an old one that is and when I was at my mom's, I told her we should, because I try and tell, I would try and say like, this doesn't match. The weather is not matching the temperature and stuff. And she's always, oh, like I'm just some kooky conspiracy theorist. But we were at a store. So if you go to places that have like outdoor stuff right now, could be like Lowe's or something, you could get one for like 10 or 20 bucks. And I set it out, and I tried to show her, yeah, that the temperature says this on the phone, but then you put the thermometer out and it's 10 or 15 degrees difference. So yeah, it's really weird. But they've been doing this for so long at this point because they've done it in the cold and the heat. So yeah, it's really absurd. Um, so the but what that couple kind of freaks me out. The ones that when you sent me that, I was driving to the store, and so I was trying to see it, and I'm one of the things is really weird is like going out of my thing, and then I'm not getting service. So I don't know, things are just weird or something. So I kept trying to look. I don't remember when I finally saw it, and then but I didn't, I was trying to see the live, but I couldn't see the stuff. But then when I started seeing like the first video that I looked at was that couple up there. It's like, what in the hell? And what is really weird too is, wouldn't you think there would be wind and it, and they're just like standing there, and they're not even, they're not even belted. They don't even have parachutes on. They're just standing there. And then they climbed, like, what did they go out of the top? And then they just climbed around the side of the building and climbed up on the very top. It's like, man, you guys really don't have any kind of thing about worrying about being killed. I don't know. I think a lot of people would be like, hell no, I'm not going to go up there and climb that thing. But so many people were like so impressed and so excited. And then I don't know, the flag that they went in with, because at first they were saying they were protesters. And then their flag was something like, we won't have peace until, let's see, we will have love when the love of power is gone, or something. We won't have love till the love of power is gone, and then we will have peace on earth, or something. And then he gets down on one knee and proposes to her. It's just like, oh my God, what how did they get him down? And they send a helicopter up there to get him? Like, it was like freaky. I just couldn't believe how they were just standing there. And they were like dressed like Catwoman and Batman or something. I don't know. The whole thing is weird. There's so much weird stuff going on. And there these crime things. So many people are so outraged. There's some, like the ones I talked about this morning were just some of them. There was more that I had forgotten. Well, I've seen more videos now talking about the guy who just did in his sister-in-law, and she was 25, medical student. Now, and he was married to the sister for 3 years. And he's been lusting after the girl for since 2017. Okay, so if this is 2026 and she's 25, so what was she like? Let me see if I could do the math in my head. So it'd be 26 years. So it would make her 19, and then we go 2 years back from that, right? And so that would make her 17. So from the time she was been 17, and then he's only been married to the sister for 3 years. So how long has he been involved in this family? So you would think that if he's been involved in this family, that, jeez, man. And he's known this little girl since she was 17, and then he did that to her. So it's horrible. I don't know if you guys have seen about it, but his wife, who's married to for 3 years, she had to go to work or something, and he asks the sister who lives below him to come help him move a piano. What? Go ask this little girl to go help you move a piano. So she comes up to help him, and then as soon as she gets in there, he goes up behind her, chokes her out, takes her in, starts, doing his business, has her down on the bed doing the business, and I guess he chokes her more, and then she's gone, and he called the police. So, and then he told him that he's been lusting after her for a long time. He couldn't control it anymore. It's like, God dang, man, get control of yourself, dude. And another thing, it just really shows how much people don't feel that they have control of themselves. Because I was hearing this morning when I was in my car, I had on the radio, and there was a commercial for, one of those G with an L and and it was saying, oh yeah, curb your cravings and all that stuff. And I was thinking, they're just trying to sell people, here, take the easy way, just we'll give you this and that will make you not crave anything. But really, you can work on curbing your cravings too. You can work on not uh just going in and indulging and stuff, and that is more developmental for you than just take this this thing, this pill, and then use that to try and do it. So I don't know, everything is just so strange. um Apparently the guy proposed. Yeah, it's so weird. Gets her up there and he proposes. I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know. The whole thing, it was just kind of creepy. And I didn't even know the Empire State Building looked like that on the top. Like, what did they have, like, all this stuff to climb up, then climb up that part, then get on another part? You'd think it'd just be a flat building on the top. Why all the, is it like antennas or something? And they climbed up on the antennas? I don't know. It's really weird. Wouldn't that be weird too if the whole thing was just made up? It was just the news. Because did you see, this is something that's been going around, and it's in I think it's in China, but the so some airplane just crashed into their tallest building. And what do you think happened? It just broke a few windows. Nothing. It didn't even, it didn't do nothing like what happened in, New York. It's, of course, I mean, in a time of disclosure and truth, you would expect some ridiculous stuff like this. But so people start posting about it and started asking, like, well, why didn't this building fall down? It's like, well, that other one, it had something on each floor. Like, it was a planned situation. And so, anyways, I was just like, oh my God, of all things, a plane's hitting another building, the tallest building in China or something. And then it's, nothing happens. It just, it's so ridiculous, man. There's so much ridiculous shit. Hi, Chris. And people, man, there's a glare on here. It's weird because the writing's wide or white on my phone. It looks like white writing, and it has a glare going across, so sometimes it's really hard to see the words. And so sorry. Um, well, I guess you're just saying something nice. Thank you. The Another thing I had seen was, I saw this the other day, and I've seen a few people posting about it, and people are very outraged about it. And there was a dog rescue. So this dog rescue, and I think it's in Northern California. I'm not really sure though. Maybe in Redding or something. I'm not really sure though. But so it's a rescue, and they would take animals that needed to be, leave shelters and stuff, and they would go to this no kill shelter. So it was supposedly a no kill shelter, and it was a rescue. So even when you get a dog from a rescue, you pay top dollar, and so they would charge the shelters and stuff a fee to take the dogs. So they were getting like $500 or $1,000 a dog or something from the grants, and having these dogs moved over to them. Then when they would get them, they just give them one right here. So they found a mass grave of 150. They've found 600 and something collars. They've got 700 dogs unaccounted for. And on top of it, the guy who owns the shelter or the rescue, he has, in a different state. So he bought his mansions. So he bought 2 mansions in Arizona using the money from the shelters to buy his mansions. He bought 2 mansions in Arizona, and then every dog that they sent him, he just gave them one between the eyes and threw him in a mass grave. So, anyways, he's busted. And I mean, you would think like that would be pretty severe penalty, you would think. I mean, that's not just one or two. I think that there's guys in prison for uh, the 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 ones that do the dog fighting and stuff, and all that whole situation. I'm pretty sure some of those guys got some really severe sentences. So I would assume this guy, like you doing that many dogs, my God, man, like heartless. And then I guess right now there's a bust going on of a family. I guess it's a family. This is really weird. There's so much weird stories out there. I did see though another one about the lady who supposedly the grandma who poisoned her whole family, and so the ones that were found dead, and the reason that they even had a wellness check is because all the flies, the neighbors called because all the flies and the horrible smell. And it was 4 kids, one daughter, um, the mom of the kids, and then the grandma. And then the grandma left a note. And they're the ones whose dad had just gotten custody of them. And so, yeah, it's horrible. But this other case that's going on, and it's out in Ohio, and it is so they busted this house, and I can't remember what. I think it was another one of these welfare check situations, and they went to this one, and they've arrested 4 adults, which they look they look backwoodsy, and the um and then 16 kids were rescued, and the kids range from age 16 or 18 months to 18 years. And that's where they're saying it's not a traffic situation, but there's something that the attorney general is saying this is the most deplorable, horrible thing that they've ever seen, and the house was absolutely disgusting. So who knows what's going to come out on this weird story. And people are like, is this even their kids? Is this their kids and grandkids? Who's like, because it's I think it's a mom, it's like 2 grandparent looking people, and then 2 younger people. But I don't remember if one is the son and one is the daughter, or one is the son and one is the son's wife. So it's some kind of situation. Then all these kids, and it's some like farmhouse looking house in Ohio, which I'm sure there's gonna be more horrible, grotesque stuff about that one too. But there's just like a lot of crazy stuff. There's this one video I saw. This girl is crying. She's like so upset, and she had ordered Little Caesars and had DoorDash go pick it up for her. And then she gets her pizza out, and so she does a video because she gets her pizza out and opens the boxes, and somebody's been eating her pizza. If the DoorDash person was hungry and was eating their pizza, like I don't even know, like actually put pieces back in that had bites out of them. So I don't even know. It's got all these people talking about on um, on TikTok though. Because it's like, well, is it the Little Caesars people? Is it the DoorDash people? Is somebody's been eating her pizza? It's like, man, you just gotta go get your pizza yourself. You can't be trusting any of these people. They'll just eat your food. So it's very strange. But I mean, there everything is very strange at this point. And I saw, so they got the weather situation that's killing a bunch of people. They've got, I guess in Venezuela, they've got like the numbers up to like, I don't think 2,500, but around like maybe 2,369 or something that is for sure dead, but they got still 10,000 missing. So they're still in the middle of all of that. There's been an earthquake, I think yesterday or last night, off of the coast of Nova Scotia, supposedly, that is next to a volcano. And so, and this is a weird spot. Then there is a whole bunch going up and down California, and what was that? The fault line I lived by was Cascade. So the Cascade fault line has got a lot of activity. And then I saw a couple of different ones. The one lady who wears the hood thing, and she's this black lady, and she wears this shroud kind of thing. I don't know. I think a lot of people have seen her or know who she is. And she always gives predictions, and she's kind of fire and brimstone-y. I guess she's kind of, God has spoken. And so, yeah, God told her this. And God said that there's about to be a 12. It's not going to be a 10. There's about to be a 12. He's about to destroy California. And there's not going to be anybody left. And it's going to it's to shake up, humanity. And it's going to affect America really severely. And then after I was listening to her video and stuff, because a lot of people follow her. I don't really see her very much, but she just popped up on my thing today. And I don't know if it was because I was stopping and listening to the ones about earthquakes and stuff. But then after hers, then there was a guy. I don't know who he is. I don't know if he has, if he's, like one of these prophets or whatever. She's a self-claimed prophet, and she has she's got a direct line to God. And this guy, he said that God told him last night that California is going to experience a 12. So it was kind of weird because it was the same thing that lady said. Unless he follows her and then he's, chiming in on her line. I'm not sure. But he said there's about to be a 12 in California, and that there it's also Florida. And the woman with the wears the shroud thing, she said that God told her to tell everybody in California to evacuate. So if you want to live, she said, get the hell out of California. Well, she didn't say get the hell out. I don't think she talks like that. But so she said to get out of California because it's gonna have a 12. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, crazy things are going to keep happening, that's for sure. And who knows? I mean, definitely the earthquakes are picking up, and the crazy weather. And then plus, there's just so many people. Like back when, the first people started feeling like something's going to happen, something's off. And especially like if you told people and stuff, everybody just thought you were really crazy. But now there's so many people saying it all the time. And a lot of people are feeling it, that, something big is coming. And it could happen at any moment. That's the thing. Anything could happen at any moment. It's just kind of weird too, because I'm always thinking like, man, like if California starts shaking at a 12, like how far would people feel it? Like over here, like it would be, and it would go up. So it would go all the way up the whole coastline. So it won't just affect California. It's supposed to, the whole coastline's supposed to change. And and so I'm close to Oregon, and Oregon is supposed to be very affected by it too. It's not just California. Seattle is going to be gone too, whenever when this thing happens. So there's going to be a lot of places that are going to be wiped out. It won't just be like one thing. It's going to be very dramatic, I think. And there's been so many, people that have had these premonition dreams. The only thing is that there was a while that there was a whole bunch of people who had the premonition dreams of New York. There was a whole bunch of people, like you can look it up online, and because they all started discussing it and stuff, and they were having these dreams, and they all saw it as a premonition of a giant tsunami was going to hit New York, and New York was going to be underwater, and that people were going to be drowning, and it was going to be really crazy. Well, that hasn't happened yet, but I don't know if that's going to be kind of like an aftermath thing to these big earthquakes, because if there's big earthquakes that the state falls into the water and stuff, that would, I would think, it would create some big tsunamis. So probably will be. Man, it's kind of spooky when you think about, like, if it really did go down like that, like if um, places started falling in and then big tsunamis, and that is creepy. I mean, you just gotta stay safe. I don't even know, because you just gotta be prepared so you don't have to be going out. But man, there could be a lot of things that all of a sudden happen just all at once. But it could also be that it's going to happen and really affect some places, and then we're all going to be affected by how sad it is. Because that in Venezuela, this is, just think about how dramatic this has been, and it is. They're talking about 10,000 people. If this thing happens in California, it's going to be millions of people. So that's going to be very, very dramatic. And it's just crazy how many more people keep getting these premonitions, or keep saying it. But that one girl today, yeah, she was sitting there saying, God told her last night, or get the hell out of California, because he's about to rain it down on California. He's about to hit them hard with a 12. So, like, crap. I don't know. The uh, I think it's the I think whatever the comments, I can't, they're not there or something. So if there's any questions, anybody wants to say anything or whatever, um, something appropriate, I guess. um, oh yeah, as because there was supposed to be the thing where there was more obstacles to inappropriate talk. But anyways, but this morning I already did a video. So I already recorded this morning because I totally forgot. Sitting there doing my last couple minutes of my one this morning. And then I was like, okay, so I'm going to be talking. And I was like, wait a minute, today's Wednesday. I'm going to be talking in a little while. I was like, oh my gosh. So, but I'm messed up on days and time, man. And my little mouse is doing good. Now I kind of want to keep it as a, not like necessarily as a pet, but I kind of want to keep him in I kind of want to get some kind of a terrarium or something and keep him. He's really cute. Right now he's just in like, like those plastic kind of shoebox kind of things. They're about the size of a shoebox and they have a lid. And then on the lid, I have a hammer and a big pipe wrench, so we can't lift it up because sometimes mice can be strong. I saved another one. This was at my cabin, and I had saved it, and it was dead of winter, and I was like, crap, I can't let him out in the winter. I'm gonna have to wait until it's warms up. Where's he gonna go? So I decided I would build him a little habitat and keep him in the habitat until the spring. He escaped the first day. Like, I had no idea they were such good jumpers. So, and they can just move. Like, I had a screen thing over the top, and I had it like buckled down and stuff, but they can jump up for a long distance, and then they can grab on and then, crawl over and then scoot out. So on this one, I'm trying to keep it more weight on it. And he's a little guy. He's a little tiny. I just cannot get over what that freaking mouse went through. He is doing good. Because I swear to God, I thought maybe his eyeballs were eaten out. I thought maybe he was paralyzed. He's using all his limbs. He's got both eyes. I think he just had his eyes shut. I think he and I felt bad yesterday because I was like, oh my God, he's probably in so much pain. God, he got chomped in the mouth like 10 or 12 times. It's like poor little guy. So hi Stan. Um uh been dating a girl for over a year. Um so this so anyways, this mouse is I feel like he's like a little champion. I feel like he saved himself. He wanted to live so bad and he got himself better. I buried the other two yesterday. I gave him a little burial and I just felt bad for him. A little, and they were getting like stinky and stiff and so anyways, they're buried and then I put like in front of where I saw the mom go through, I put a whole bunch of their glue traps. So I didn't just line it up with snap traps. But I got to order. I just have to wait until I get money and get paid. But get the traps that where they can go in and then it closes. Then you can go release them. I need some of those. Those are the ones I like. And these glue ones. This is a new thing to me. I didn't even know that you could get them off the glue with the oil. So that's uh, that's a whole thing. But anyway, so I lined him up in front of the little place that the mom would go through because I was trying to make sure if she came out that she would definitely step on it. And then I would get her, and then I would take her down to the river. I would put the oil on her, and then I would release her and her baby together. And then they could go live down by the river. There's stuff to do down there. And then it's a big distance to walk from the river if you're a mouse foot, from the river up back to the building. So I thought, well, they wouldn't come back here because it would be such a big walk. And the hawk is always patrolling. And so I was like, man, they get eaten by the hawk. And the river has got a lot of brush. It's like, you'd think it'd be a great place to live if you were a mouse. But now the mom won't come out. She's just like staying in. And I know she's not coming out because when she comes out, which usually she comes out all throughout the day, every time I go out there, she's out there and she's pooping on everything. And there hasn't been any poop. And I haven't ran into her at all today. So I may end up having to release the little fella by himself. But he's such a little tough guy. I think he could probably make it on his own. He's a tough guy. But I'm giving him food and water. And he's got his own little shelter in there. And I've put some little stuff in there. And he climbs around. He burrows in the hay. He climbs up on the little things. He's just cute as can be. I just can't believe how cute he is. I think he would be. Well, I'm kind of scared to just get him out and handle him or something. But I know there's people who have mice as pets. I mean, I don't think it's that strange. And yeah, this mouse, he's just so cute too. I almost brought him in here so I could show like how cute he is. He's so tiny. And but he's got fur. He's got fur on him. He's not just like a little pink furless thing. And he's got these big ears. He probably has a deer mouse. He probably is carrying the hantavirus. Like, who knows? I don't even know. I may even have the new virus too that's going around. My stomach's really bothering me. I see these things like, oh, there's this severe thing going around, new stomach virus going around that's getting everybody. Kill you, but it's a big stomach virus. It's like, boy, they're just getting us everywhere. I swear to God. No matter how they can get us, they're gonna get us. They're gonna keep us sick all the time, cook us. Like it just keeps going. So, and also, Crystal, the deer. I wasn't trying to race the deer. I was just driving down the road, and it was all houses and yards right here. And I was just driving down the road, and something caught my eye, and I look over, and he's not like running right up next to my car. He's running through this yard and just like running next to my car as I'm driving. He's running next to my car. I was like, are we racing or something? Because you're always gonna win, buddy. I am not going to be able to beat you. And then when we got to the end of the road, I turned and he just went across and then went through the pasture. But Yeah, it was weird. And I had the two bunnies cross my path yesterday. So I looked that up. That's supposed to be good fortune. Then last night I opened the door to go out and there's a black cat. I was like, what? My brother had told me he thinks there's some wild cats out there, but this whole time I've been here, I have not seen a cat. I've smelled cat pee around in some places where I'm like, man, I swear to God, it smells like cat pee out here. And so I had told my brother, he said, well, there's wild cats out here. But yesterday was the first time I saw one, and he was just standing, he was walking, and then he stopped and was looking at me. And I was looking at him, so I start walking towards him, thinking, well, it's just a cat. So I start walking towards him, and he's just sitting there. And then I said something to him. And then he took off running, like, hell no, it talks. Gotta get away. So he took off running, just like when the fox did the same thing. And he stopped and he stood there looking at me. And then as soon as I spoke, like, no, why? I don't know. They just really don't understand us making these noises out of our mouths and speaking to them. Because we could speak to them through telepathy, honestly. And but yeah, it was kind of weird because I had the deer run next to me. Then I had the rabbit cross my path, and another rabbit crossed my path. Then a black cat crossed my path. Then this morning a squirrel crossed my path. I was like, this has all got to mean something. I have never had so much of it, and this is all like this with the strawberry moon thing. And this morning when I went outside, it was I was letting the dogs go out, and when I opened the door, I was like, oh my God, the sky looks weird. So I decided to do a video. It's on TikTok though. So I went and I got my phone, did a video to show like the weird sky. And I was like, man, it's either like the simulation because it looks so fake, or it's just this other world coming through our world. And the sky is just not the same. And there may be people who don't understand that unless you've been around for a while and you've seen the sky for like 60 years. But if you base everything over, I don't know, maybe even the past 20 years, the, it's not the same. The sky is weird. And so I did a video to show, and it was like it was this blackness over here where the sun was coming up, and then everything else was blue. And then, except for right over there, was this line. So it was a total line. And then it had clouds that went along the line. And the day before, which I don't know, I don't think I did a video of it the day before, but there was another place like in the same space where it was an abrupt line. It was like just this abrupt line of these two different things. And it's like, that's not natural. That's not organic. That's like weird. It's like manufactured, artificial or something. And so then the sun kept coming up, but the sun wasn't breaking through this massive cloud thing, but it would come through, and then it finally got to the top, and then the sun was so freaking bright. And it's like, how in the world could the sun be this incredibly bright and not be able to burn through the cloud? Like, that doesn't even make sense. And then the whole sky is blue with these big white clouds in a line, except for this one part over here with this big dark cloud that looks like it's going out this distance. Then when I left to go to yoga and I was driving, then I drove and it was this big black cloud, and it was all over in this one area. So it was like we were under this big black cloud, and it was raining in some places. It was just weird. And then it's just been cloudy all day, but it's not as overcast as it has been. So the sun still comes out. So it's really humid, super humid. Then it's supposed to be all sun tomorrow, and we're going up into the 90s, which I know that means we'll be up in the hundreds. So freaking cooking, and then we're gonna have people doing the fireworks. I hope they don't start a fire, because it is a total tinderbox. It's like, dang, man. If I mean, I guess it's one lucky thing I'm in a metal building, because metal, I guess, but metal melts if it if the fire gets too bad. Um, See the moon here. Oh, yeah, because this morning when I went out too, so I'm doing this video of the sky, and then I turn and the moon is full and it's just sitting there. This is already at sunrise, and the moon is kind of not really low, kind of in the middle of the skies, and this is all clear over here, and it's just sitting there. And then when I zoom in on it, there was like red splotches kind of on it, but it wasn't like where it looked like a strawberry moon, but it was jarring because I'm sitting here looking, and all of a sudden it was like, whoa, there's a full moon sitting there. It was just really strange. Everything, I just feel like everything is so strange. I don't feel like anything is normal at all. I feel like, and I do totally feel like this is your time to get your, and it's not just like redemption, redeem yourself, but it is like redeem yourself, like get your act together, start, accumulating, like start thinking about your morals, start thinking about trying to be a better person, think about how you treat people, think about your behavior and stuff, and how to become a better person, because that's what redemption is all about. And when you think about, if you want to be all fire and brimstone, where people are like, well, God said, but it really is vibration. So if you want to, you stay in a low vibration, if you don't redeem yourself, which I saw a really good breakdown today too of the Last Supper, that picture, and they were talking about what it really represents is the zodiac. You can hear the wind picking up. The zodiac signs, and the guy showed each one. And so it's 12 guys and the sun. So the sun is Jesus. And then the 12 disciples is the 12 months of the year. But there is also supposed to be the 13th month that they've kind of shut us out of. And then and then each one they show the sign, and it really was, whereas like, oh my gosh, that really, it was like, I can't think of what they, like, the each one, how it represents itself. I remember the cancer one, and the guy's holding a fork or something, or holding a knife. There's one where it's about Libra or something with a two balance, and the guy who represents that one has got both hands out, like balancing. Then it has one that is a woman, and the guy is pointing at her, and she's a representative of man, I can't remember, but it was a good breakdown. I just can't remember it all. Thank you. Too much information. which thing which thing is too much? um but anyways, it is important though, for if you want to be able to go to a higher vibration, you have to meet the vibration. So it is important to redeem yourself. And another thing too, I've been talking about Love Island, and I'm almost done with the season 6, which I can't get over the victim mentality of like these girls. And then it's like being mad at the guy for not liking them. Oh, thanks. Uh Thanks. But the guy is so the guy is the girls, uh they they like a certain guy or whatever, and then the guy will like him for a minute, and then he'll turn his head to a different girl, and the girls get so offended and so upset, and they overreact, and they become bitter and angry, and they go crazy. So all in season 6 has been that to me. But it's weird because everybody picks up on different things. So there's all sorts of perspectives. It's not just the way I see it. It's like however you perceive it is how you perceive it. And so there's a whole bunch of different people perceiving all these different things. And the season currently has got a ton of drama. And so there's tons of drama, just like last season. There was so much drama with that Huda girl. And now that I've seen season 6, because I saw season 7 last year, and I talked about that one with all the drama with her, and in her overreacting and her, oh man, I would think like if you went and you did this stuff on this show, you would be embarrassed. It'd be like, okay, did you forget you got to still enter back into public or something? And so she and then but she was very, it was very divided. Some people thought she was the absolute kook, and then some people thought she was, the savior. And so now that I've watched season 6, now I'm like, oh, it's like she watched season 6 and then she's like, oh, I guess that's a free ticket to act however I want. And because when I had seen Love Island before, and I had watched the one that was the UK one or something, for because it's been around for a long time. But then America just started one. So, but all the countries have one now because it's popular. And so we're in America, season 8. And so I had seen season 7. I think I saw the first season, but I don't know all the seasons in between. I don't think I saw them all. But so I had seen season 7 the last year, where it was just like so much drama. And then, and I was like, man, I can't believe these people act like this. Can't believe the way this girl is talking and acting like this. She's acting like a psycho. Like, put up the knives, man. This girl, like, watch out. And but now that I've watched season 6, it's like, man, I swear to God, I think that she just watched season 6 and she's like, well, I'm just gonna take it to the next level. And then we're in season 8, and it's just, oh, I can't even believe it. It's so much drama. I can't even. And but anyways, so when I was on TikTok this afternoon, it's like I can't. The moment it was over last night, the lives started. There is so many lives, and it's not just one person talking, not like this. No, it's got whole groups. So it's a whole panel of people calling in. So they've got a whole panel, and it's got everybody's thing. So it's like 20 people all talking about it. Then you go to another one, and I'm not just on the lives. I'm just going, just strolling through just regular TikToks, and it was one after another. Like every third video was lives discussing this Love Island situation and all the drama. And so it's like got so many people discussing it, and there is all different perspectives. I think it's really important too, when we're having these big things and all these different perspectives. People have got to remember that everybody's perspective is valid. There's not one perspective we're all supposed to have. It's not like we're all supposed to think the same. We're supposed to learn how to be able be to be accepting of everybody's different points of view. And that doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but you can't sit here and think everybody needs to conform and think like me. And that's the only way. That creates a smaller minded world. It doesn't create a larger minded world. It's very contained and controlled at that point. And that's what we're breaking free from. And so it's just kind of wild when you see these things playing out like that. And there's a lot of division, and there's a lot of like discourse over this whole drama of how different people look at it. But yeah, man, it's crazy. And one of the things too, because I was talking about this guy that I had seen, and I can't remember his name. It's something like Shamad Prince. Some, I think he's Middle Eastern, and he has a platform, and he just talks like sensible stuff. And I saw a video of him talking this morning. I talked about this already today, but he there was some stuff he said. Every time I see him, he's always saying stuff where I was like, I agree. And but it got me thinking about this whole thing, like with all these women who think they're empowered, but really they're victims and they just feel sorry for themselves. They're throwing their self esteem over to these guys and saying, here, care for me, make me feel better about myself. And the guys aren't doing it. And then the girls are getting mad. And it's just this craziness because some people think because the girls are standing up for themselves that they've got that means that they are empowered. It's like, no, they're playing the victim. They're playing such a victim role out here, and they're not having good self-esteem. They're not having good standards. They're sexualizing themselves to be on this show, and they're degrading themselves. And which the thing of Madonna of walking in that dress that doesn't cover her groin area. Now I've heard she doesn't even have panties on. She just walking just bare ass, like with this thing, like, and she just showing it. It's like, man, if you saw a woman her age walking down the street, like they would be picking her up and taking her back to the nursing home. It's like, man, lady, put on some clothes, right? So, anyways, but it just reminds me of kind of like these women who are like, oh, they're against the men and men suck and they're all a bunch of PORN addicts and all that stuff. But then but look at all the women who are making their OF channel or their OF platforms and selling themselves to these guys. It's like they're having your cake and eating it too. It's like if you don't agree with all of this, the way that men are treating women, then stop playing a part in it. Like be more respectful for yourself. Don't play your part in selling yourself short. Believe in yourself. But there's so many, that they just prioritize having money over dignity. It's like that's selling your soul right there. If you are prioritizing money over having dignity, over feeling good about yourself or the person you are, and you think like your only value is to sell your body, then that is like degrading yourself. That's not liking yourself. And then when you're doing it for money, and some people do it for attention, money. Like, well, what's Madonna doing it for? She's obviously doing it for attention. I don't know. She thinks she's still. To me, it's like, man, is she on medication? Like, what is wrong with her? And then Shania Twain too, out there pulling up her, and her dress was already so short she didn't even need to pull it up. She just kept pulling her, like going spread eagle on the stage, and then trying to show, and then pulling it up to show, and it literally looks like she's wearing Depends. It's like, girl, that doesn't look sexy. Nobody thinks that looks sexy. It looks like desperate. Like, please, somebody, it's like, man, I swear. Um, that's how it is. Isn't it a glamorous look? No, it's not. We all say, I wish I could own that now. It's not good. It is kind of like the trend to degrade yourself, to just look at yourself as a sex object. Like I mean, it blows my mind what these girls will do on this show. It's like you would think that would follow you, but it's like everybody's like, oh well, it doesn't matter because they'll just get deals. They're gonna get deals when they come out, like with brands or something. So they're gonna get brand deals so they don't never need to have a job again. So, man, there's people who, they post something on Facebook and they can't get a job. And these people are doing actual sex show on there. A lot of them are having actual sex. And the production, the cameras zoom in on this crap. It's like it's freaking soft porn. I swear to God, Love Island is total. And unless you really like watching people kiss, I don't know. It really grosses me out. And then they get so up close. It's like I really don't care to watch people, and they're all trying to do it like they're super sexy or something. And then they're sticking their tongue out. It's like, man, uh, even in movies, they have to be taught how to kiss right. because some stuff just looks gross. It's like you guys needed to take that class. Like you guys just look gross. Just look so gross. Um, Sometimes I've had a clone. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that girl Kim Richards. People are like, because she's come out now with a new face, and and people are like, oh my god, look how good she looks. I I'm like, this can't even be the same person. This has got to be like a clone or something. It's got to be some kind of robot, shapeshifter, something. I mean, because her eyebrow, like her eyebrows aren't even the same. And then they will be like, oh well, she had them lifted. It's like, well, they're not even like the shape's different. Like in her picture, her hair color's so different. She's got such dark hair. Now she's got like I wouldn't say honey blonde, but like a some kind of brownish blonde color, and her eyebrows are thick. It's like how did her eyebrows become thick? And her eyes don't look like the same shape. They're probably not even the same freaking color. And her lips, of course, her lips are totally different. And so, yeah, I don't know. She's one of the Beverly Hills housewives or something. But no, maybe she's Orange County. I don't know. She's one of those housewives. But it is weird too because I knew that there was two of them on there that were from movies and from when they were kids, like from the 80s or something. And so I was watching a movie a couple of weeks ago, and one of them was on there. And I think it's called Tough Turf or something. It had James Spader. James Spader is her love interest on this movie, and she's like a tough chick, and he's new to the area, and and she hangs out with his tough guys, and so the tough guys are now against James Spader. He's got to fight all the tough guys and win the girl. So, but anyways, it wasn't Kim Richards or whatever her name is. It was the sister, which I think the one sister who is in this movie. I think she ended up having she became like an alcoholic for a while or something. Like she looks a lot more older. Like you'd think she'd be the one with plastic surgery, but the other one, she always to me looked like Demi Moore, and now she looks totally different. I don't even know. She's like Khloe Kardashian. Like they all go in and say, "Oh, I'll have that face." All they do is go in and it's like, what are they just taking their faces off, putting on new faces? They probably are just shapeshifters. They're just going in and getting a whole shapeshifting into a whole new person. I don't know. There's something so weird about it. But the other girl, Kim, the one who just got the new face, I think she was more of a little kid in movies, like an 8 or 9, like on Witch Mountain or something. But this girl, yeah, it was so weird because when I saw it, and I was like, oh my god, that's one of those housewives from the. Because I looked up, who is this girl? And yeah, it was one of those housewives. So yeah, they really were in movies. Hi, Damon. Um, some yeah, I do think that there is a definite thing going on with the masks. That's for sure. And did you see now that Joe? They got Joe out there. First, he was at the Barack's opening of his new building or new presidential suite or whatever the hell it is, and so he was there crying and stuff. I just couldn't even believe those comments. I'm sure because whenever Amy and I will share videos, sometimes we'll be like, you got to read the comments. And the comments is just like, oh my God. Uh, Barack was the best president. Uh, Joe was the best. Oh, he's so great. And just all this stuff trying to build him up. And Michelle was crying and Joe was crying. It was just like, oh my God, this is so absurd. And now Joe was at another place up speaking, and it's like I mean when is it really? I mean, what comes out in the files that it's a guy in a mask, Well, they skip all that. All they're looking for is where's Donald's name? We just got to get Donald's name on here. We got to prove he's a perv. Everybody else, let's skip all those names. Let's skip all the other information. Let's just make sure we try and find about Donald in there. It's like, dude, they've already come out and said Joe's a guy in a mask, and then here they are, just wheeling him out more. I'm just like, yeah, this is so absurd. I just can't even believe it. So, so much stupid stuff. I can't. It's like, you guys, I don't know. I just don't know. Like, what does it take? What does it take for when is it going to come out? When are they going to just say, hey, this guy, because every single thing that he did as when he was supposed to be the one in charge, there's nothing that would be, nothing could stick because he wasn't a real person. And either was Kamala. That was also a person in a mask. So, and then we just carry on. It's like, man, I swear to God, I thought it was going to come out in the first year. I did not think we were going to go through 4 years of that absurdity. And there we go. 4 years. 4 years of a guy in a mask just taking us through the ringer. And people accepted it. It was all okay. He's a great guy. And then even if you even saw the swearing in and stuff, and then Kamala, she did, the like the Bible matters. Like when I had my lawsuit thing, and they had to keep coming in there, and swearing on their Bible, and then they'd get up on the stand and lie through their teeth. It was like, what in the world? This is absurd. We're just gonna put our hand. Oh, I promise. It's like absurd. But, anyways, that's the part of our judicial system. It's ridiculous. But but so they have to swear in on this Bible to become the president, the vice president, and she put her purse on top of it. And then I think there was I can't remember. There was something weird about Joe's too. But I mean, the weirdest thing is that Joe's been dead for however, since now it's even further. He's been gone since like 2020 or something. Goes through a whole presidency from the grave, and then he's still showing up. He's still showing up at things. It's like, oh my God, this is so ridiculous. So, but the people don't want to look at that. They don't want to see that. They don't want to pay any attention to that. They just want to find, focus on Donald, and that's going to solve it all. It's like, man, okay. So, we've got a world full of pervs, but they think that that's the only one we need to worry about is him. We got all these people, because it's not even the people who just go to the island. There's a whole bunch of islands. There's a whole bunch of places where they do all this weird ritual pervy stuff. And and it's going on in all these towns, all these different towns. People are getting busted and stuff. And it's weird how they can just shift and not pay any attention except for unless you say this one person's name. And then you can see, like, that's why he's the catalyst. Because look how much say his name, and boy, you get their attention quick. So I don't know. There's all sorts of Truth Social things or something. Then people are saying, "Well, I'm on Truth Social," and that's not really posted. And so the the AI or made up stuff is just getting more and more absurd. That's why I even say, like, when you see all this stuff about the fires, the earthquakes, all these different things going, then it's like, well, is this even real? Even with the people on top of the Empire State Building, it's like, man, is this even real? Is this just like, are they in a photo studio and then telling us that they're there? Like, none of us are up there. We're not looking. I mean, they told the whole world that they went to the moon, and they didn't really do that. Now, the people who were in the shuttle, the blue, it was so traumatizing to the whole freaking world for all that time. They found all seven of them out there working. And all of them use their same names except for one. What in the world is so. Um, Thoughts on the BLM? My thoughts on a BLM? Uh, is that I just was talking about this because it is one of the most. I saw a doctor talk about it's the most dangerous surgery that you can get, and it's something about um, putting the fat in, and then the way it travels, and it goes up to their heart, and then it gets in their heart, and then it stops their heart. So more people, I guess, die from getting a BLM than any other surgery. Apparently, that's what this one doctor was saying online, and and it's crazy because they keep doing them. Why don't they stop? Because they don't really care. They don't really care about women's health. They don't really care. It's all just fetishy, sexual. Like why does women need to change her body like that? Like uh, there's I've seen so many people talking about, like so many people talking about the beauty standard, especially the white woman beauty standard, the standard that white women are held to, and and they're supposed to be ultra thin, and and it's based on pedophilia, and and it becomes super toxic, and then um, and then how many women just hate themselves because they don't look the way that they say to look. Man, something's scratching my throat. So that just adds in, if I wouldn't, I wouldn't do anything extreme to go change my body, uh, for sure. I mean, I did it once, way a long time ago, and the and once you're out, the plastic surgeon just did whatever they want, and then and it took so long to be able to get my implants out, and I'm so glad that I did. But yeah, and I would never. And I tell everybody all the time, don't go do any of that stuff. Just learn to love yourself. Just learn to accept your body. Just we're not meant to all look the same. We're not all meant to have big old butts and big old boobs. We're all meant to be individual, and and then for them to try and sell us that we all need to look a certain way and make it all very sexualized and fetishy. And that's what that one of the things that that guy was talking about too. That Middle Eastern guy that I was talking about. I can't think of his name. It's like Shaham Prince something. I don't know. But yeah, they do in America especially. It's like they just try and make everything so sexualized, and then so many women feed into it. Like just like what I was saying about like on Love Island, these girls get an opportunity to go on TV. It's like, I don't think you're making your parents proud. Like, oh my God. And if your parents are proud of that, then they must be just as desperate for fame and fortune as you are. I mean, that's kind of sad, you know. I don't want to be judgmental of the people or whatever, but that's where we're at in this world. It's just full of, everything is about PORN and fetishy, and everything is sexualized. They're sexualizing kids. They're trying to get them to even, this is something that I think is weird, and I don't even know if I can explain it right, because it is this gender identity thing. And so get the people to think like, well, and then push the whole thing. Gender doesn't matter. We're all, nobody has a real gender. But then why are you pushing them to pick one? Why can't they just be fluid or whatever? Why can't they just be androgynous? Why do they have to pick one that includes surgery and medication that they have to be on for the rest of their life? So, and then we have people who are in charge of that medication and gets to decide on the prices, get to decide what's there and what's not going to be there. And so many of these people are having serious health things by taking, when your body is in alignment to take uh, well, I mean, even women who are in menopause and stuff, and then they push them to take the the replacement with the, the media. So when they even push those women, so many women are getting cancers and health issues. But then when you're pushing kids to take one, and then take ones that aren't even in that are more foreign to their body. So if you need to have more estrogen and progesterone, let's say, and you're going through your um, puberty, and then all of a sudden they're shoving in this testosterone and stuff, like, people are having serious health issues. And it just, that is like a crime. This is criminal. And I had seen a doctor. Well, it was weird too, because one of the doctors was somebody who used to be all on board with it, and then she started seeing like that they are really damaging kids that are more uh, less identifying them, more like, let's take the gay kids and let's, do a bunch of stuff to them. And so she started going way against it. And then I've seen a bunch of different doctors talking about these people need to face criminal charges. Like, this is crimes what they've done to these kids. It's really sad. Hi, Andy. Hi, Darks. So yeah, it's sad. But it's kind of like, it's weird because it's like, partly, the things we accept are the things that they push on us. But then when we don't accept it, then we have, the people that go busters on us. And then they start calling us names and saying that we're the problem, that we are not accepting. It's like, no, this just isn't right. They shouldn't be doing this to kids. Kids shouldn't even be having to think about gender and stuff like that. Like, the kids should be able to just be kids. Like, man, I swear to God, when I was a kid, that was about such good times, man. And we didn't think about any of that stuff. We got to go out and build forts. We got to go out and run the streets and play. We didn't have our parents up our asses. And we just got to go out and experience. It was like a very free time for kids back in the 60s and 70s. And I think in the 50s too. And then you had a mom. It wasn't like you were a latchkey kid, because you had a mom at home, but she was at home cleaning and talking to her friends, and we were out playing and talking to our friends. And we sure the hell weren't sitting here thinking about, like, well, I really think I'm a boy. And there was tomboys, and there was more feminine girls and stuff, but now it's like they want them to change. And then you got kids who don't even have any kind of, like, not even a tomboy at all, and they just have like some kind of, I've seen so many of these kids that are detransitioning talking online about what happened when they, and it's like they had a complaint about something, and as soon as the school gets a hold of it, it's like they send them to these doctors or counselors, and they said that they would see him like one time, and then they would put him on replacement therapies, and then they would start setting him up for surgeries after just talking to him for a few minutes. It's like that is, and those people who were um, doing that, it's even more corrupt, I think, than the ones that treat the CANCERs who get their kickbacks. Because every person they put on the CHEMO, then they get like a kickback of almost $6,000 on each one. And so, of course, they're going to keep pushing it. I mean, they've got bills. And so, but I think that the kickbacks on the redestruction, regendering of kids, I think is, I swear, I don't know why 20,000 is coming to my head. I don't know if I had heard that or something, but yeah, I think it's a pretty significant amount of money that they get for putting them through all that stuff. And the person paying it is the PHARM, the people who are providing the what you need for the rest of your life. And there was something about that I had seen too, like a year ago. And it's those um, people who have been pushing that whole agenda, and online and stuff has been the, she can't say it, but you know, the ones that are, that have a farm in their name. So those places have been the ones that came up with this bullshit and then have pushed it because the money. So I'm sure they're the ones that are paying the kickbacks. So, because they're going to make, just think of how much money that they are going to make off of you. Like, you have to go on to that stuff when you are 12 years old and you're having to take a handful of PILLSs for 40 or 50. And you know it's going to cut those people's life shortened. They're they're not going to live with the same kind of, you know, they're not, like right now they sit there and say, oh well, people are living to be like 72, which I would think it's, there's a lot of people who are in their 80s and 90s, and it really does have to do with how you take care of yourself. It really does have to do with if you mineral replacement, because that's what they're stripping out of everything. They're stripping it out of the food, they're stripping it out of the water, they're stripping it out of everything, because when we become depleted in our minerals and our, we can't fight disease and stuff, so then they can, you know, rain it down on us in any way they want to and bring it and get us all sick, so everybody's just sickly all the time. And there's so many minerals that you got to really focus on. And so it's so important to restrict the amount of toxins's that you are taking in, because that is a depletion, and to really focus on the building of the minerals. And it's really weird too when you even talk about that stuff, because it's like in our artificial bodies in our illusion of a body, but it is a part of our experience. It's part of the human experience, is the connection. So connecting to your mind, body, spirit, and then taking care of yourself. And that also includes the learning how to love yourself. So loving yourself, respecting yourself, caring for yourself, and then and you know, it's always too, is they push an agenda on aging. And I had noticed before in movies that they were putting people, so somebody's supposed to be like 60 years old in a movie, and they'll get somebody who's like 80 years old to play him. So, you know, we're looking at them like, dang, man, 60 years old is old. And then, but it's not. It's not at all. And so, but it's taken people to break through that glass ceiling and be able to see, like, no, they've sold us a story. And then once you buy into the story, then you start going and you start developing it. You start creating that for yourself. And there's so many people who like believe that they're going to be old, so they become old. They start following the thing because it's like, oh well, you know, I'm 60 years old, that's old, so I'm got to be old. Even when I was at yoga today, I was like looking around the thing and I was just like, man, like all the women just, it's like everybody's got the same hair. Well, not every one of them doesn't have the same haircut, but there's a certain like age range where a lot of the women, they all like go get the same kind of haircut. It's like, uh, and then now, you know, whenever I see people who are, their whole hair is all silver and white, then it's like, oh shit, man, you're depleted of minerals. You've got to go and build up your minerals so that your hair starts turning back to, I mean, my hair hasn't totally turned back. I mean, it still has some, but it is, but you know, I mean, that's a true thing, is that when you become depleted of your minerals, it starts pulling out of your hair. And then once it's pulled all the color out of your hair and your teeth, because a lot of these people losing their teeth, and then so it pulls all the minerals out of their teeth, pulls it all out of their hair, and pulls it out of their bones. And then they all start having like osteoporosis and weak bones that fall and they break a hip and stuff like that. And there's a whole nother thing coming out now, though, that is where they've done these studies with people who are 70 and they are just as strong and have just as much muscle mass as people who are in their 20s, as long as they do that kind of work. And even the yoga teacher, she was, she does the craziest freaking stretches. Oh my God. And, um, and she said, you'll be able to do this in your 80s and 90s as long as you never stop. You just don't stop. But in those studies of the 70-year-olds, they have shown that even people who were sedentary and then started exercising could build their muscles back up to being equal to somebody who was in their 20s. So it's all been BS that they've sold us on aging, and they do make us sick. They do that. And they do deplete us of our minerals so that they can make us sick. So it is very they do have a very complex indoctrination technique over aging. But, they got to sell us that so that we just accept aging and dying because it's a part of their whole thing. But that's what we're breaking free from, though. Because once we break free, yeah, we're not going to be dying. And we only die because they tell us that we're going to die. So it's all been BS. I think a person's hair color only changes um when they were under extreme stress. Oh, well, there's definitely stress seems to make people's hair turn gray faster. But also it does have to do when I noticed my hair started changing back to my natural color is it's weird too when you say your natural color, because when you're a baby, when I was a baby I had real white hair, and then or when I was a little kid, and then it got darker, but my hair has mostly been dirty blonde or whatever, dark blonde my whole life. And so, but then when I started getting older, it started changing and going white, and I didn't feel like I was stressed. I mean, I've never been, so, I mean, even when I believed aging was a real thing, I was just like, well, just do it the best you can and take care of yourself. And but my hair started turning and it was white. Like if I pulled this back, it was white. And so but I didn't realize until I was drinking out of copper. Once I started drinking out of copper, and it was like 2 weeks, I started going like, whoa, my hair's changing colors. And but there's a few different ones because you could be selenium. Selenium will also, if you're depleted in selenium, your hair will start being drained of color. And but also in order to absorb copper, you have to be have a sufficient amount of iron and magnesium. Like you need, it's a whole domino thing. Like you need them all to but yeah, my hair changed. um Read me, you look exactly like your, I look like your grandma. Let's see. Look at your grandmother. uh, oh, she also has blue eyes, which also um before my healing, my eyes weren't so blue. My eyes have also became more blue. I think, I mean, it used to be people always told me that I had gray eyes, like the color of my eyes was gray. And then it was all of a sudden one day, it was a few years back, and one of my grandsons was sitting there, and he started saying, "Oh my God, you've got the bluest eyes." And I was like, "I've got blue eyes?" He's like, "Yes." And before, I'd always been told I had gray eyes. And so then I was like, oh, I think it's the healing. I swear to God, it's the healing and it's the minerals and stuff. That's what I think. But definitely been told I look like a bunch of people. It's funny too how the range of people like of that I've been told I look like. Not just I've had lots of people say I look like their aunt, I look like their grandma, I look like their mom, I look like their sister, like all sorts of things like that. Oh, they look green to you? I don't know. I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people talking about eyes changing colors too. Yeah, they think that they are blue, but I don't know. Maybe it's the lighting. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know. But anyways, I do feel like they did change colors because I do feel like, I mean, it was a long time, like years and years and those decades where people would say I had gray eyes. And then it was just all of a sudden, just like 6 years ago. Well, because I'm thinking, because it was at the cabin. And so, I think it was like around 2021. And it was just like, oh, I didn't realize I had blue eyes. So, but and my hair was Crystal. You remember, huh? Because you even sent me pictures how much this was all white, and now, like, and I swear to God, in person, I really think that this looks more blonde. I think that this light makes it look more white, but I think it doesn't look as white. But anyways, my hair has changed colors a lot, and that has definitely been from minerals. And I can still see, like, if I like, I still feel like there's like little bits. Like right now, I feel like, man, it does look pretty dark. But if I'm in certain lights, I'll think like, man, do I have a lot of gray hairs coming in? But then I think it's not really. But anyways, what I have definitely noticed, and I've shared a lot about that, is that taking minerals will change your hair color. And this one woman, and I've talked about this before, but this one woman who I would see her on TikTok, and I had talked to her before, but when and her hair is total silver, and when I had talked to her, when I my hair started changing, and I told her, I told a few ladies with silver hair on TikTok, and that it's a mineral deficiency. You got to take minerals, and your hair is going to start changing back. And they were like, "No, I like my hair this color. I don't want to change it." And and then she, and I was like, "Man, that's so weird that people like prioritize like what their hair looks like over a mineral deficiency." And but I feel also like when my hair had all of that, I got a lot of compliments and stuff, and so then it was kind of like, oh well, I do like it. I hope the copper, drinking out of the copper cup, doesn't make it all go, but it did. But the so I get where they're coming from because they get a lot of attention over their hair. And so anyways, but the thing is that I had told her, and she said no. She wanted to keep her hair silver. She wasn't going to be taking any minerals. She wasn't going to be trying to do that. And then she started getting broken bones. So she started getting, starts drawing from your bones. So it takes all the mineral, like I feel like when it's taking it from your hair, it's like your warning sign. It's like your body's telling you, hey, you're running out of something. You better get on top of this. And then you ignore it, and then they tell you through their indoctrination program that that's normal. It's totally normal. Don't worry about it. And so you don't want to listen to people who say wacky stuff like me. And then it starts taking it away from your bones. And if it's taking it from your bones, it's also going to affect your organs and everything else. You're just going to get sicker and sicker and die off. So man, I don't overthink it. Even at my age oh, thank you. Thanks. So, but anyways, it is the thing is it's about your health. And uh yeah, I got a sweet. And but it is about your health though. And it is about taking care of yourself. And I do think it does start showing in your hair because it's meant to get your attention. But then they make a storyline through their indoctrination program and they tell us, well, it just is you're getting older. And so, and when you go to the doctor, even, I swear to God, it starts when you're like 35. Every single thing you go in and you complain, well, you're getting older. Well, that's part of aging. And so, they just don't even they don't even try and look into what things there could be going wrong. They just well, you're aging, that's it. And so we're just told over and over. We're told through the movies, we're told through doctors, we're told through all this stuff, it's just a part of aging. And we're supposed to just accept it. We're supposed to just be quiet and get sick and die off. And it's like, no, we can fight against it. um Could you share a few of the most unforgettable moments of my life? When I was 3 years old, I've shared this one so many times. So when I was 3 years old, I was at my grandparents' house, and I was told I was three and he was 1.5, and I was told to go get him a glass of water, and I was really irritated. It's like, why do I have to go do it? I mean, my mom and dad are sitting there, two grandparents. Why are they sending me to do it? And so I'm stomping in my way into this bathroom to get him a glass of water. And so I start thinking, well, I'm going to put soap in the water. And that's when I had my first communication that I was aware of. And I thought it was the devil and an angel that was talking to me. And so I was talking to them, and it was going back and forth. And the devil side was very loud, and it really feeds into your ego. It really tries to feed into your feelings. It tries to, so it tries to play off your feelings. Like, you're right, they shouldn't be telling you to do that. That's not right. You should put that soap in that water because they shouldn't be making you do that. So they really feed into that kind of thing. But the light, the part where I thought was the angels, they were just very calm. It was like so peaceful and so calm, and so much like talking to you about the consequence, talking to you about what the outcome was going to be, and telling you, think about it. You shouldn't do that because what's going to happen afterwards. And so I put the soap in the water, and I went out, and then what happened was what the light or what the angel had told me was going to happen happened. And so then they've been talking to me ever since. And then another time it was that I think it was very uh, that I remember a lot is when I was 15 or 16, and I was at somebody's house, and they made a whole bunch of pot brownies. And back then though, the pot wasn't anything like nowadays, so you gotta keep that in mind too. And so anyways, I ate some of those, and then I fell asleep. And so I was at these people's house, and I fell asleep, and I woke up, and I had to go pee. So I got up, and I started going to the bathroom. Was As I was walking, I was looking around the room, and I was thinking, why is the room so smoky? Everything's so smoky, but I don't smell smoke. And I was thinking how weird it was. And then I got to the bathroom, and I turned around, and I swear to God, I keep on thinking I looked in the mirror and I could see myself. But then when I turned and I looked back at the bed, I was laying there. And as soon as as soon as I realized that I was out of my body, then it was like I was sucked back in like a vacuum, and it was like I went through my feet. But the most significant thing about that is it taught me is that you are the same. Like, you don't need your brain. You don't need any of that stuff. You are the same. You are you. And whether you're in this body doesn't have any significance over who you are. And that's what's so weird in this world is so many people get so caught up thinking that their body is who they are. No, you come out of that thing, you are the same. It is your, which I talk about, it's your code. So all through all your different past lives and everything is setting, it's your code. That's the code. Like they try and tell us about this DNA code. That DNA code is very, like they say, oh, well, you've only got so much of your stuff on. And well, it's because they don't know how to read it. They don't understand all the code. The code is you. And your code is through all of your experiences and it what creates your perspective. And that's why all perspectives have a significance. And that's why we should be acknowledging and sharing perspective, not cutting other people's perspective off and trying to only condense it into one perspective. And so it's really each person is valuable in the sense of being able to see more things and have more perspective. So every person holds value to this world, and it is all based on all of your experiences as a soul. So, as a being, an orb, a light being that you are, then you go through all these different experiences, and every experience creates your code. And so, your code is who you are. And so when you come out of your body, the person who you don't, so many people just don't realize like who they are. Like, but you come out, you're the same. There's nothing. You did not need your brain to remember things. You did not need your brain to think for you. You come out of your body and you are the exact same. And um, and I think that through their indoctrination program, they really try and get people to not realize that. They get people to try and focus on their bodies and beauty standards and stuff like that. When really the significance of your soul is what is matters, and that's why building up your soul, redeeming yourself, working on yourself, loving yourself, finding the value in yourself is the direction to be going, especially right now at this time of change in this planet, but in this world, in this realm. Let's just say this realm, because we aren't just a planet out spinning around either. Um, but so the but so many people, once they come out of their bodies, then it freaks them out because they're expecting to die. They're not expecting to be the same, and then you carry your pain and suffering along with you. That's the lower vibration, and that's why you need to work on it and heal your lower vibration so you don't carry it on. You let go of it. This is the ending of a cycle. And so you want to leave your baggage here. We want to leave it here in this space. We can't carry it. We can't go into a better place carrying all our baggage. And so this is our opportunity. That's what the awakening is all about. It's your opportunity to get rid of all your baggage and to really focus on yourself and learning how to love yourself and value yourself. We live in a world where people don't have any respect for themselves. They're mad, they're angry, and they resent everybody else and they take it out on each other. And really the most important thing to do is to just learn how to love yourself. And it doesn't matter what other people think about you. It only matters really how you feel about yourself. And when you feel good about yourself, then because there's always going to be people who like you and there's always going to be people who don't like you, and just like in this show. But you don't get as affected. Like these girls, if they were healed on this show, if they were all healed and not feeling so fragile, then they would feel better about themselves. They would represent themselves differently. So to me, it's important to realize, like, the person you are is lives on. And if you are in alignment with really a bunch of negative stuff, that's your vibration. That's the space that that's kind of like where people say like the prison planet and stuff, but it really is it's your vibration is your trap, it's your anchor. So your vibration is what holds you, not so much as this planet or this space. Their trickery has, held people because people don't work on themselves, and then they indulge in a lot of darkness. They indulge in a lot of uh, wickedness. They indulge in a lot of, things that are not of a high vibration. And so that's their trap. That's their anchor. That's what holds you. But this is the point in time as the cycle ends, is for people to open their eyes and to realize and to wake up so that they can start moving out of that energy and start moving towards the higher vibration. And the higher vibration, the goal for a lot of people is the age of Aquarius. And once we reach into the age of Aquarius, that's this whole, heaven on earth where people, we won't die. We just get to have a much more positive experiences. But you got to heal from the experiences you've had. You got to heal from the dark, heavy experiences, and you got to be preparing. So that's this whole concept of redemption and prepare and get ready. It's not like God's going to come back and judge you, but you can't. Your vibration is your trap. It's what's going to hold you. So but those things to me seemed valuable. Like I've had a lot of really crazy experiences that has helped me to understand more about this world and about um, my role, to myself in this world. And so I never felt as trapped into like three-dimensional kind of ways of looking at things, because since I was three, these beings have been talking to me. And so I've had an awareness of the world outside of this world for a long time. And then I've had experiences where I've, come out of my body. I've had experiences where I was like 15, I think, and I was driving down the freeway, and a truck I don't remember if it just pulled in front of me or what the situation was, but there was this big 18 wheeler, so big Mack truck that was all of a sudden in front of me, and I was going to hit it. And I was going to crash into a 18 wheeler. And so I just shut my eyes for impact, because it was like, oh, just shut my eyes. And nothing happened. I opened my eyes and I was in front of it. And so I was like, this angelic force just picks you up and moves you. Because when it's not your time to go, it's not your time to go. But when it is your time to go, you're going. And that's the thing too about this place, is there's always been an entry time and an exit time. But that's changing as this cycle changes. So we're breaking free from a lot of the things that we've experienced here. But then there's people who are not ready to break free, and they'll just continue to have these type of experiences until they are ready. But the way to get ready is to face yourself. So facing yourself, redeeming yourself. And that's the thing that I talk about even with these girls in this show, man. You got to get out of this victim mentality. You got to quit thinking it's everybody else's fault. You're sitting here giving them all of your self-esteem instead of just learning that your own value. Like you can value yourself. You don't need anybody else to value you. You've got to learn to value yourself. And that includes, you got to have boundaries. But boundaries don't mean cut people out of your life and scream and yell and be mean. That's not having boundaries. Having boundaries is just, it's like having standards. And it's like, going somewhere, saying somebody's talking down to you, and then being able to say, hey, I don't like how you're talking to me. If you continue to talk to me like that, then I'm just going to go ahead and leave or something. And but that doesn't mean you're like, stomp out, I'm never speaking to them again, I'm so finished with them. And that's what a lot of people's reactions are. A lot of people just overreact because in the when you're in that kind of lower chakra, unhealed, that's where you get the NPC kind of concept and stuff. And that's where you are just a product of your own reactions. You're emotional prisoner to your own reactiveness because all you do is become reactive to whatever everybody says or does. And then you're a hurt, wounded little child. And so you can move out of that wounded child that but the thing is also your wounds are much deeper than this life, so you've got wounds that you've been carrying in your Stella's pushing on this thing and messing it up. You've got wounds that you're carrying from life after life after life, so you got to go deep. That's the whole like spiritual kind of awakening to yourself, is you got to go deep into the understanding yourself, like what motivates me, why do I have this reaction, why do I think this way, why do I do that, when this happens, why do I do that, like start questioning yourself and trying to understand yourself on a deeper level. And that's the momentum, that's the movement towards the healing yourself, pulling your, getting rid of your anchor. It's like, it's kind of like you have the anchor that anchors you into the depths of hell. This place is hell. and but it's held on a rope, and so you got to keep, slicing at that rope, and you go little by little, thread by thread, in order to pull yourself free, to get out of this space that is, because we are no matter if people on face it or not, we're in a very low vibrational space. This place is these things can't happen. The things that happen here can't happen in a high vibration place. They can only happen in a low vibration place. So we're in a space of really low vibration. That's the only kind of place where, you can go in and kill people and do horrible things to people and horrible things to animals and all of this stuff that goes on here. And when those things are occurring, it's because those people are there to learn from the experience they're going through. So that's why some people are going through things that are way worse than other people. And because it's part of their growth, it's part of their learning. And so, but you can, one thing, I see it going on like this Love Island thing, all these people talking about it. You can learn by observing, being in observation, watching, but not getting in judgment, not just sitting back and talk, well, they're a stupid ass, they're dumb, and thinking you know better. Well, they should do what I would do this and I would do that. Even though that's, it's a fine line. Because I can find myself with these girls thinking, oh my God, have some respect for yourself. But I can't sit here and say, like, when I was in my 20s, I wasn't just having respect for myself. I was a mess too. I didn't even get into my healing until I was late 50s. And that was after I got a brain injury. Like, I had to go through a lot of stuff in order to really get to the point of starting to really focus on learning how to love myself. And so that's why I talk about it so much. It's like I lived a life where I didn't love myself. I lived a life where life was hard and people take you for granted and take advantage of you. And you're not you're not your own advocate. You're not your own best friend, and you're dependent on other people, how they treat you, and you got to break free from that. You're never going to find yourself being happy. You're always going to find yourself being resentful and angry, because nobody's going to give you what it is you need. You're the only one who can do it. You're the one who has to. And then even when you go to the next level, it's like, well, all those people, they all need something that you're not giving them. And so we all have to learn to give it to ourselves. That's why we are the savior of ourselves. We are all here to save ourselves. There's not some, magic man who's coming down from the sky who's going to save us. We have to face ourselves and save ourselves. And that's just facts, man. So I don't know if I answered your question. Probably went too far. I went too much into it, but that is what everything to me of what is going on in this world, why we're here right now, as a soul. You're here to go through this experience and sever the ties of your anchor, sever the ties of they're like loops, they're energetic loops too, and you get stuck in loops. And so you got to pull yourself free. And you can notice your loops through your patterns. Because if you are honest with yourself, you'll start noticing your own patterns of behavior and you can break them, you know? Thank you. Thank Sherry. I totally, I think anybody who has gone through it and gone through their healing and stuff, they know. It's like somebody who is, suffered through alcoholism or something, and they figured out, hey, wait a minute, I can stop drinking. And then they tell everybody, wait, you can stop this. You can change your life. You can feel better about yourself. And it's once you do it, then it's like, yeah, it's great. Yeah, hi Sherry. I'm glad you made it. Um, but yeah, that's the whole thing is what I think is all people get all these different things going on. They're going on right now, but everything that's going on is for each person to it's for you to like reevaluate, how does it make you feel? And why do you feel this way? Why do you feel that way? And what do you need to do to improve how you feel? How do you want to feel? How do you go towards that? We treat ourselves so, yeah, when we're not healed, we treat ourselves horrible. Yeah, and we expect others to make us feel better, and then we become resentful and angry. And that's what I'm watching play out on this Love Island. It's like friggin' unhealed island. It's like basket case victim mentality. It's like, oh my gosh, the world is going to be so different when we are not all trying to fill our cups. It's so weird too because I heard that like what I mean, it was like that went around like 30 or 40 years ago. Is your cup half empty? Is your cup full? You can't expect others to fill your cup. But then you start realizing like, oh, now I get it. Now I get what they're talking about. Like you trying to get others to fill your cup, trying to get others to make you feel better. And that's the whole premise behind energy vampire. If you're going around in the world trying to get other people to make you feel better, then you are an energy vampire. And it can be anything because it can be something that you did. And I'm guilty of it. I can't say, oh, I never do that. Freaking, I do it. And, but the more aware you become of yourself, the more that you can work your way out of it. But yeah, you do something and then you want somebody else to make you feel better. It's like, yeah, that was okay. Yeah, it was okay. You did that. That's okay. And it's like, we really got to ride our own pony. We can't be having everybody else trying to make our ride better, because it is very much like it is very much us then draining other people so that we can build ourselves up, and that's very much about being an energy vampire and sucking the life out of the people around you. And that's also, you want to go into the psychology of it, that's where they start being, oh, you're a narcissist. And you can't get all caught up in, well, either way, you can't get all caught up in like, oh, well, I'm a narcissist, I'm a real rotten person, or I'm not a narcissist, because we all have some narcissistic behaviors. We all have some narcissistic tendencies. We play both roles. Like if you were to line every single person up that you've ever had an interaction with in your whole entire life, you're going to be the good guy and the bad guy. You're not just one thing. And so there's no reason to get caught up in the, oh, I hate myself, I'm such a narcissist. It's just like, be aware. Be aware of your narcissistic tendencies. Be aware of what triggers you to start sucking the life out of other people. And then start slowly, slowly making changes, slowly developing into being, the direction that you want to go. And the direction is about independence. It's about being self reliant not being resentful, not being hateful, not being angry, not being mad, because those are all the energies that are about this low vibrational place, and those are the traps. Those are the things they want to keep us trapped in. That's why they're constantly trying to have all this distraction and try and keep all this division and keep us all arguing with each other, mad at each other, because that's what holds us here. And that's what's so weird is that people don't realize that. It's like you want to get out of here, then you need to work on yourself. You can't sit here and be trying to change everybody else and thinking that that's your way out. It's not. It's the only way out is that's where that whole thing about the only way out is in. You got to go in yourself. You got to work on yourself and learn how to take care of yourself, learn how to love yourself, learn how to just be a better you, you know. That's what to me is what it's all about. These dogs with their going crazy with their dreams. Their dream world is crazy. My dream world's crazy. Their dream world's crazy. The world's just crazy right now. Um, Dang, we had to learn everything. Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day too. Was thinking about like, man, yeah, I've had to learn a lot of things the hard way, and then it's weird too because you want to help other people, not have to go through some of the things you've gone through, but really, you can't stop other people from learning, however they're here to learn. So it's kind of seems to be a part of the human experience or the human experiment is learning the hard way because it is learning through situations, through experiences. And we do learn from consequences. That's why I think it's important, like with a kid, when you have little kids, and for them to have consequences. And this whole movement with these parents thinking kids shouldn't have consequences. It's like, I mean, it's just a part of the human experience is consequences. That's a part of your soul. It's not even, it's beyond human experience. It's the soul's experience. I think I gotta turn the air back. I turn the air on, then I turn it off. Then I turn it on, then I turn it off. Because when it's on, I start getting really cold. But you can hear Stella. She starts panting like, because it feels like a sauna in here. Seriously. It's like it's very humid. It's really humid, and the sun is bright, but there's a bunch of clouds, and it goes under the clouds. But right now, always when it gets around this time, it starts coming in this window, and it is like really, really hot. So, um, yeah, but I do think that learning the hard way is the way to learn. Because how many things did somebody tell you? Like, oh, well, if you do that, this is going to happen. And then, I mean, I know I've told lots of people, well, if you do that, this is going to happen. And they're always like, oh, that's not going to. And then they go and do it. And things usually happen that way, but it could be like a little bit off. It could be a little different than what you said because, it's based on our own experiences. But yeah, I think it's part of the soul's experience is to learn through going through hard things for sure. What are you guys all doing something for the 4th? My brother and my sister-in-law are going to come over and barbecue, cook carne asada. But the yoga teacher, boy, she's so into patriotic stuff. She was so into Memorial Day, and she's so into it's the 250th birthday of our country. And I just keep on thinking, like, I just think it's so weird. 250th birthday. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Sherry. The 250th birthday of our planet, of our country, but last year was the 250th birthday of the military. It just seems so backwards to me. Like, how do you have a military before you have a country? I just think, is this, it's got to be part of the awakening because it's just too weird. It's too absurd unless I'm just so out there. And it's like, oh, no, that's how it always works. You always have a military before you have a country. It's like, well, even when they had before, where it was kings and queens and stuff, and then it was the kings and queens that were setting the tone. deciding what religion, and then they gathered and created their armies. So I don't know. Well, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird over here that we have this uh, birthday thing going on. And then plus, he made such a big deal last year about 250th birthday, 250th birthday of the military. And and now it's like, I swear to God, he made such a big deal of it last year because we were supposed to start thinking that how is the military older than the country? Like it's a year older than the country. And why would it be on the exact same day? Why would the 4th of July be the 250th birthday of the military, but then a year later, it's the 250th birthday of the country on the same freaking day? Like, I don't know. Am I wacky or something? Or does that just seem weird? Because it doesn't make sense to me. That's one of those things, like some certain things will come into my brain and then they just blow. It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. And it just keeps going over and going over. It's like, wait a minute, oh, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. So yeah, that whole thing doesn't make sense to me. And it's on the same day, a year apart. And the military, it seems like it should be the country's birthday first. And then I still don't know why the military would have the same birthday. It's like, well, we're going to just wait. We're going to wait until the birthday of the country, and then we're going to start a military. And if it was that, well, we had to have a military in order to win the Boston Tea Party, to give us our freedom, which the Boston Tea Party, if you talk to people who are in England, they say that doesn't even happen that way. And so, but our history that they tell us, that's all lies. That then, so you had to create a military. So you gathered up some frontiermen and told them to get their guns and come down to the pond, and we're going to fight it out with these people over taxes. And then we're going to celebrate their birthday and then at the same time, we're going to say, well, now we have our freedom, but it happens a year later. I don't know. I don't know. I could carry on and carry on about that. It just seems so silly. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, thank you, Sherry. What is the what is the weather like in Kansas and also Oklahoma, Crystal? Is it super hot like Amy was saying in Tennessee? You're watching a movie? What movie are you watching? God, it is hot in here. Oh, we're watching a movie in this world. Yeah, we are watching a movie in this world. Humid, hot, and not. Yeah, yeah, it's super humid here too. Super humid and hot. And it's supposed to just crank up more. Like supposedly we're in the 70s right now, and then it's supposed to be back up in the 90s. But the last time when I checked it, and it was in the 90s, it was really almost 120 on my temperature thing. So it's like crap. I'm just gonna, man. I do feel like they're trying to cook us, and they're cooking people over in Europe, all over the place in Europe. It's not even just one country. There's all sorts of people dying, and that there was more about that lady that went to Arizona, and she was laying by a pool. So she was laying by a pool and she kind of fell asleep. And then she got heat stroke. Her body started melting. Her skin started melting off. She was in a metal chair. It's like, that seems weird. Was she on medication or something? How could you, like, any metal in the sun like that and you just touch it, it's so hot? How could the chair be that hot? It's melting your skin off and you don't notice. She didn't wake up till she was in the hospital. She didn't wake up. All her skin's melting off and stuff. And but I know she had heat stroke and her skin melted off. And I don't even know what else, but she's being cooked out there. Isn't that just kind of gross too? The cooking is. Soylent Green and cook it. Ugh, I don't know. Something so gross. Not Our Life is a movie. Um, you're talking about Life as a movie, or are you talking about you're actually watching a movie? It's in the lower 90s. Yeah, we're gonna be back in the. But Oklahoma can be pretty hot and humid all the time, isn't it? It's like so similar to Texas. And you guys, and is that like tornado weather when it's like that? Is that kind of have more tornadoes? Like, should we be expecting in this hot? They're gonna have wildfires for sure. They're definitely gonna have wildfires. They're gonna start wildfires with the fireworks, I think, and then um, is there? You think there'll be because I know when the heat and the cold, so they got cold in some places because it's snowing. So when they move that cold front and it runs into the heat, then that will start with the thunderstorms. But I don't know if the just the heat does that create the tornadoes. So are you guys, or is everything just like, oh, all we're battling right now is heat and humidity? Or is it like, oh man, this is just like setting us up for a massive storm situation? If it's not setting you up for a massive storm situation, I swear to God, there's gonna be a lot of fires. I think there's gonna be a lot of fires that start this weekend. And then plus, we got all these earthquakes going, tons of earthquakes going, and tons of them that they're not even talking about because they're threes and fours, but there shouldn't be like hundreds and hundreds of earthquakes. That's extreme. So I don't know. Well, still, that one guy who had prophesized about the sickness, and he had also prophesized about the towers. I think his prophecies were the towers and the sickness, and he was accurate on those. And he's the one who says that mid-July we're going to be living a totally different life. So now we're in July. Now we'll see. I mean, the one lady, she was so sure there was going to be a mothership that was going to land, but the mothership hasn't landed unless it's hidden from us. Man, but it's really dry in my throat too. Like there's such a dryness. And here, the dryness and stuff, you get such a bad headache. God, I cannot believe the headaches here. Yeah, I think that probably, I bet you this weekend is going to start some crazy stuff. I bet you that in some of the cities, because the more the heat comes in where there's a lot of closed in places where there's a lot of people in one space, the more tension is going to build. And the more tension that builds in some people, it just goes out through the energy. So there'll be more tension. So there's going to be more criminal activity or more violence against people and from all of the heat and stuff. And then I think in certain places, I know here it's a tinder box, it's crispy outside. So any place where it's crispy, I think there's going to be more fires starting. Utah's like real burned up. Colorado has got some big ones going. I think it's by Aspen too, and it's really burned up. And but Utah is really bad. And then I think, oh, because Oregon, yeah, they just don't have water. So somehow they've run out of water. They're on all these mountains. There's no water. And so they're saying like if they start having fires, they're not gonna be able to put them out. So they're just gonna burn everybody out. It's gonna just be I bet you this weekend is gonna be some chaos. And it's weird too because you hear some people who are really into it, like, get out there, go to your celebrations, go to the fireworks shows. This is exciting times. And I'm like, stay home. There's gonna be violence and chaos out there. That's what I think. So we'll see. I thought there was gonna be violence and chaos and some other things, and then nothing happens. But I don't know. There's been this whole thing, this whole lead in, because even Donald's been saying everything's about to change abruptly. So I don't know. How long have I been talking? An hour and a half? Or is it 129 minutes? 120. Oh, like just look at the time. So it's 6 o'clock. Oh, so I've been talking 2 hours and 10 minutes. All right, ladies, I've been on here. Yeah, we've been on here 2 hours and 10 minutes. Thanks, Crystal. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Sherry. I'm glad you made it. And so, yeah, we better get going. And then I'll come back in the morning and I'll do a video tomorrow morning. So, thank you, ladies. Thanks for coming. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks, Sherry.